Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Episode 307 of our podcast together.
Together again. I gotta get that out of my head because I don't know what it is, but every time you speak, I feel like saying together again. We just need to hang out more throughout the week. I know, but it's not even like I don't even watch the show. It's like the second new Muppets just movie or something. It does. I don't get it. It comes out. Get out of here.
Big shout out to our Patrons. Thanks everybody who resubbed up this week. Patreon gets you access to After Dark, podcast after the podcast, where we just keep going. And yes, to the turd who asked, people do enjoy an additional hour of us.
Wait, where did that come from?
You probably didn't see it. I'm not gonna say. I don't remember their name. No,
it's obviously on YouTube,
Spotify. I think I don't read our YouTube ones too often. I'll read them if they're commented like in the first.
Did somebody actually say that?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Who would want, what does it say?
I don't know.
Because the Spotify stuff, I only get if you send it to me.
Yeah. So
send it to me. I want to see it.
Patreon is our podcast after the podcast, and it's your way of supporting the podcast and hearing more of us. And yes, people enjoy After Dark. Okay.
People are aware what they're signing up for, dickweed. Yeah, they're doing it on purpose.
The reason I thought it was so funny was because we only talk about it in the very first 4 minutes of the podcast. So it just made me laugh thinking you're already commenting that. I don't understand. Also, what did you come here for? What'd you come here? Did you come here to learn about Path of Exile? Because I promise you, wrong place.
Get out of here. You could join our Discord for that. There's people that learn care more about it that way.
It's true.
Very helpful, very kind. Justin and I are not very helpful, nor are we kind. We're just kind of your gateway to kind people.
That's right. We provided the place to be.
That's right.
And it was completely weapons by dealer, accident.
But for kindness.
Anyway, episode 307. Xbox release. Who cares? Who cares, Ty?
Shut your face. It's not my fault when this happened. Anyway, August 24th. 2017, Justin.
8 years ago.
That's 8 years ago. Xbox Path of Exile came out. By the way, good mathing. Cool. It is cool, okay? I was like, cool. I started a one-man club that day of being stoked for Path on console, and they have done nothing but improve it and make it better and better and better, and it is really good to the point where you are now a controller convert for the sequel. So
PoE 2,
all of yours.
I gotta find my controller now that Path of Exile 2 is coming back. Because we're gonna talk about Path of Exile 2, I assume. How was your week?
Path of Exile 1 came out with a patch. Actually, a really cool one. A very cool one.
What does that have to do with your week, Ty?
You were saying we were going to talk about Path of Exile 2. Maybe. But, I mean, Path of Exile 1 came out with a really cool patch. So maybe that'll just monopolize everything. I had a good week. How was your week?
That was it for you? That's it?
No, I just had a good week. My stupid wife's pillow was falling over. Hang on. Seriously, I swear, my wife and I...
That's not your office anymore.
No, it's not. It hasn't been forever. But she is so lucky that her husband has a podcast. Well, and I'm very lucky. I know you're just staring at my belly button right now, but something's going to fall onto the monitors if I don't fix it. But obviously, you and I are very fortunate to have spouses that are totally cool with us just doing whatever, whenever, And so we've been able to do this podcast because our wives let us too, right?
Agreed. Mm-hmm.
So, but throwing all that thankfulness aside, she's lucky we have the podcast because for all of her broadcasting stuff that she absolutely loves to do, she's got the best mic, best audio setup that she could ever have. No way.
It.
Right. You got to start
she decorates, off. Right? Did you just say a pillow was going to fall? You have a pillow at the window?
She doesn't like curtains.
Oh,
I'm a curtains guy. And pillows. She's a blinds girl.
Okay.
I think blinds are ugly. There's not one time I ever look in a window and I see Venetian blinds and I'm like, wow, that really enhances that window experience. That looks really nice.
Can.
Curtains look nice. Venetian blinds look like blinds. They're never going to look nice, ever.
Curtains get used to it
because blinds are blinds. Yeah, but wait. Get out of here.
The only reason that I like curtains is I like them for the blackout purpose. Yeah.
But she doesn't like curtains, which means we can't buy blackout curtains. Right.
Yeah.
But she doesn't like all the extra light that's shining on her for, broadcasting and stuff. And where our office is situated,
guess what would fix that?
Blackout curtains, lady. But it's not my office anymore. So hum-diddly-dum-dum.
So you get
But
pillows.
anyway, but luckily I got to paint. It was my office at the time we were painting.
I remember when you picked
the only
colors.
room I was allowed to. Yeah. Now I have no rooms I'm allowed to change the color in. So thanks for that, dear. But because she puts her spousal foot down, being no curtains. So now all of a sudden we're not allowed blackout curtains. So she has like these big pillows leaning against the Venetian blinds. It looks, obviously you can't see them from the outside, but it looks way worse.
I mean, it's good for sound.
What, the pillows?
Yeah.
Blackout curtains are too. They're nice and heavy.
They would work, but they're definitely better than what you have right now.
You know what?
Blinds.
I should have thought about that. She just came back from a Soyuz. I should have curtained the whole place up.
Surprise.
I should have. Last time she did that, I tried to do like all this crazy cleaning that was bad.
I was going to say, let's be honest, you would have gotten one set of curtains up and been like,
right.
I'm done.
But this is now her most important room in the house, so I should have done it here.
You'd have gotten half a curtain up.
But it would have been a really good
It would have been a really cool curtain.
We had a good week, man.
Yeah.
Nothing different. It was just a chill week. Next week, we're taking the kids to the water slides as a big thing.
Cool.
We were trying to be all cheap and take advantage of a coupon that we got. And it ended up the day we were available to use the coupon, the whole park was sold out.
I feel like they probably do that on purpose.
I think so too.
But that'd be fun.
That's how it works. So we're going to do it full price this coming week. But man,
cool.
We've just been good. Kids are playing. Oh, I'm taking them through the MCU.
Yeah, you said that.
Did I? Okay. Yeah, it's not something like
After Dark.
It was cool at the time when it was starting off, but their storytelling got
You're so
turned to trash. Dude,
I know. Yeah,
it's my time.
I get it.
It's my time. Don't they waste so much of my time. So anyway, but there's like really cool elements to it, and not all of them were busts. They definitely, anyway, there's hits and misses, but I'm showing them like 10 or 11, 12 movies up until Endgame. You know what I mean? And then nothing after. None of the shows or anything like that. Just the ones that feel are important for all the Endgame thingy things, the Gauntlet, that kind of thing.
Cool.
So that's cool. So we had a big movie day yesterday. We watched like 3 of them.
Oh,
Iron
nice.
Man, Avengers, and then Winter Soldier. And I don't know if you remember Winter Soldier or not, because it was a long time ago.
It's the dude with the arm missing, right?
Yeah, and how they introduce him. There's some
pretty
badass
awesome
stuff in this world.
Yeah.
Nothing beats how they introduced the Winter Soldier into the MCU. Like he is that mask, that hair. I mean, Sebastian Stan too.
Yeah,
but then you get the
beauty.
And I love how everybody just shoots at the shield or just shoots at the arm, but in the moment you don't care because you want them to be badass. So it's just happening. I'm so glad they're not thinking about shooting people in the foot. And it's just so good. So anyway, his introduction was epic, and they got to see that yesterday. So we all just had a moment to ourselves. It was good.
Cool.
How about you, man? You had a week. You've been shot up.
Yeah, I went for my epidural yesterday, and so I'm heavily sedated. Yesterday sucked, man. It was brutal. Every time you get I've only had this thing twice, but for the first few days. This one hurt more than it hurt the last time. But where they, you're talking like a needle, like right up into the tailbone, and they got to get it right up into the spine. So it's not fun. And then I'm uncomfortable and in pain, and then hopefully it'll chill out. My freaking neurosurgeon appointment got pushed again. Thankfully, only one day. So I'm like, hopefully we get to this one.
Listen, this better be just a consultation, because I'm wearing a vest underneath in case when I get there.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Just operate right now. So anyway, my week was, it was a good week, but it ended with getting a needle into the spine, and I missed the live event 2 days ago because I forgot. I actually forgot. And then when I realized it the day before, I was like, I got a lot of meetings. So I tried real hard to get out of it. And my attempt to get out of it and be back at my house for 1, I didn't start the process until about 2:30. So
but you saw
it didn't work.
Right?
I did watch it later on in the day. Yes, I have seen it now.
Good.
I didn't watch the Q&A part, but I did watch the the actual thing. I know there's always stuff to learn in the Q&A. It's just more time.
And I love that too. It's just, I don't know. I guess I wasn't in the mood. I guess, actually, we'll get into that. We'll touch on Path 1. I won't forget Path 1 because there's a note there. The thing for me is, and I'm super excited about this. This is going to be great. But I was really bored throughout the entire presentation. So by the time we get to the Q&A, I don't really want to, and I love how they talk. I don't want them to change a thing about the Q&A. I just love it. I love how personal it is. I love how normal it is. It's just 3 people talking. It's just, it's all very down to earth. And it's always, no matter where you are with your hopes and dreams for the game, it's always just a very humbling reminder of the people that work behind the scenes and how much more work it actually takes than simply snapping your fingers. And so I love how they do it, and I don't want to change it. But I found this presentation, the actual hour and a bit video, to be very boring. And so it was more just examples upon examples upon examples, as opposed to us telling us just what's up with a very quick example. So by the time the Q&A started, I was already spent. You know what I mean? I want to do something more interesting. So I never got around to watching the Q&A as well, but I was very attentive.
Well, let's talk about whatever we need to talk about Path 1, and then we'll get into the 2. Because I was excited
on
by
the first
Path 2.
Click on the first one, not the hotfix, but the other one. That's a second
G326.0.G. Support for upcoming announcement. New support packs. Helena now offers mass identification of your inventory items in your hideout for a reasonable price, of course. That is cool. I assume they're doing that because that's coming to PoE 2 now.
It's always been in PoE 2, yeah.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Right. But I I love that. There's one pack. They're doing the sport packs, whatever. But then there's this one thing, just out of nowhere, it's just all right, here you go. Let's just do it. I love it. I love the idea that it's not I don't know.
I'm glad that it's in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Path of Exile 1, to me, this is, it feels like a really messy kitchen. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I'm super stoked for Path 2. It's like a kitchen where nothing's in the drawers and nothing's in the cupboards. It's just splattered all over the island, all over the counters, all over the tables, everything. And it's whoever works in the kitchen knows exactly where everything is and how to do it well and how to time it. But if you're new to the kitchen and you're oh man, I got to make myself some lunch. I'm thinking about all the different NPCs to talk to, all the different crafting things, all the different gambling, and you go here for this and you go here for that and you go here for that and this. And sure, they did a tiny bit of consolidation with, what was it, Jun? This league, last league, whatever it was, where you can now do your own unveiling. But it's just so much, right? So I love that you can do this, right? It mass ID, it really gets rid of the need for scrolls of wisdom, which is nice. I mean, as long as you're not somebody that wants them while you're mapping, but that is really nice. But it is also now just another NPC to have in your hideout. So it's one of those love-hate things where it's really don't need another NPC to chat to, especially a mandatory one. Yet at the same time, it's awesome to have the feature, right?
Yeah, it's annoying that they give it to somebody who doesn't really have any other function, because then it is an extra NPC that you really need. Helena's just to switch your hideout. So once you've got a hideout you really like, you're probably not talking to her very often. But yeah, whatever. That's cool. I'm glad it's in the game.
It's not really a criticism because the game's already like that. It's not who they give this to is making or changing how the kitchen's organized, right? So it's not a criticism that way, but it's just, I love that they're adding it just out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I mean, maybe they talked about it ahead of time, but I don't pay attention to PoE 1. But everything else, PoE 2 this week.
Yeah.
Big news.
They did their announcement. Third Edict. I still don't know what the first 2 were, but we're at the third one.
We're there, man. So yeah, did you get your Twitch drop?
No, did not, because I was late to it. I watched it on the YouTubes. I actually really liked it. I have to say, one thing that we have talked about in the past, but we're both not big storyteller fans in the sense of Path of Exile. That being said, that I love how they do it. They've grown so much in how they're storytelling and the visuals. I love their little cutscenes that they're creating. It's starting to remind me of what I really liked about Diablo, which was the cutscenes and these really cool sort of interludes and introductions to characters and what you're doing. I think it's very good. It was very fun to watch in the direction that they're going. So I liked it. I mean, I still have my thoughts regarding it, but the way that they did it, I thought it was fun. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was done well too. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Before we get it, did you see that there was a patch before the 3.0 patch? There's another cool thing that just gets snuck in there.
Where am I looking?
2.1D.
2.1D. Sorry, I haven't looked at anything Path of Exile.
Don't be.
It's
the second
players
point,
can now revive each other. Is this Path of Exile 1?
2.
Oh, this patch is for 2. Players can now revive each other in endgame maps outside of boss fights at the cost of attempt/pros. What, couldn't you do that before?
Outside of boss fights. And yes, you could revive, but now it costs a portal.
Oh, that's fair. That's cool.
Yeah, but it's neat because that's the way it's going to be. And it was just like a little patch that goes whoop, just before the big news. So
wait, can you not revive during a boss fight?
Oh, I don't know, man. A, I don't play with people, and B, I don't get to maps.
Well, we used to revive each other in boss fights when we did the demo stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, goodness, nothing's the same in the demo anymore. It's a totally different game.
I don't actually remember if you can revive. You must be able to revive in a boss fight.
Druid wasn't even ready then.
Yeah. No Druid. That's fine. It's okay.
It is. I love, you know what?
Bring it out when you're ready.
I love that they didn't push it. But you know what? This is also something that I was excited for. I mean, they're coming out with whatever's ready whenever it's ready. But my thing, because the things that I was really passionate about weren't really working very well in Path of Exile 2. So basically, without all this stuff coming out, it's them just working on what they already have. And that was, from my personal perspective, what I really wanted, right? Not saying that's the direction they should have gone. That was just what I was hoping they would do. And as a result, it kind of, well, not as a result, it's just, that is ended up what happening, right? A lot of what they're doing, they revamped ascendancies. There's so much more on the tree. Nodes, keystones, all either reshuffled or their values have been remade. It's what you've currently been playing is going to be totally different. And I'm very excited about that.
I like that too. That's fun. It was interesting watching the live stream. Well, I wasn't watching it live. There were a few moments where I was like, okay, like these changes that they're making, you can tell that it's early access and they're making adaptions as they're learning. And I actually like it. I don't remember them specifically because I was on a lot of drugs and I'm still on a lot of drugs, but I remember multiple times being like, oh, this is cool. Like these are early access type changes and they're figuring out their direction and I'm happy with that. And yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I like that they added sprint. I have no idea what your order is, so I'm just going to randomly just spurt things out. But am I going too fast? Did we skip something? Is there anything else?
You say things, man. You speak and I'll go,
Was there more stuff though that before we get to their actual live stream thing?
No, you go, let's go right into it.
I just like sprint.
Listen, if you don't like foreplay, I'm okay with that. I can get into it right away.
You're ready.
And I will nap as long as you let me. Don't you worry about it. You want us to talk about sprinting right off the bat? Okay.
Yeah, let's get right into sprinting. They because I've had a complaint that the acts are not for me fun to do. They're too long, they're too big. It mostly just takes too long. I'm curious if sprint helps with that. Like it's definitely a good direction. I think it's a relatively fair trade-off with regards to if you get hit while you're sprinting, you get stunned. That being said, they showed it like you just like flat out died. Like there's a skill you can get with the Amazon person where you're riding a chocobo or riding whatever the little dude is that you're riding around in. And if you get a roa, if you get stunned, you fall off. I don't want a random spear throws at me and I'm like down on the ground and dead. So I hope it's more like a stun, like a temporary, like not a super long thing, but I do like they brought it in. It
should be something very sensitive, but that does mean they need to be in control of edge of screen damage because you're going to be coming into it much sooner. Right? Because you're moving so much faster. But I love what they did because it is a good balance between we're not going to revamp how every monster's speed is and your movement speed to make the game better. Like now they can keep combat at this pace that they want, including boss fights, and you're not messing with that balance that you've been really working for years on behind the scenes, but it allows this component that you can use anytime in the game, but it still maintains the value for movement speed because that's still without sprint, your safe point. And sprint I mean, it'll come with its balances. It might not come out working the way it does or the way it should. And, there'll be tweaks coming to it. But once it's set up, the concept of it is really cool to give you pros and cons whenever it is that you're actually safe. Like if a boss has skill cooldowns or the time between, like imagine being able to use sprint in the Jamiroquai fight. That'd be awesome, except he's constantly casting, so you can't. Right. So, but it adds that value where there's still so much about your attributes and movement speed and roll that are good. And they actually use the same button setup as the Souls games.
What do you mean?
Well, the dodge button is the same as the sprint button. It's just what based I'm on curious if you're tapping about, it or holding it.
Yeah, but like, let's say I'm curious where that point is, because if I roll and I haven't quite let off maybe B, for example, on the controller. Hopefully there's some like iframe freedom in there that it's not you're instantly stunned because you rolled and didn't let go of the button soon enough.
Yeah. But and then another safety feature they had was as just use a skill and you're automatically out of it instantly. Right? Like you don't have like
it's like almost like an action canceling thing, because as soon as you use a skill, you're not considered sprinting, which is great.
But it's an action cancellation for something you want to do.
Right.
Or something that's a part of your build. So that's cool. It does bring up again the difference between maps and campaign. In the campaign, when you die, all the monsters reset, which doesn't really add value to the sprint unless you're trying to sprint through them, whereas it does have value in maps, right? So it would be even faster to level if the monsters didn't reset in campaign while you're leveling. If they had that consistency between maps and campaign where what you've killed stays killed unless the entire instance gets reset, then now you're leveling way faster. You've added the sprint to the game. Let me go through all that crap I've already done. Like, don't make me redo all of this, right?
I can't remember what the reason was why the zones reset the mobs. We've talked about this at length too, because I don't like it either, but
it originally coincided with how, it wasn't like
they didn't want you to run through empty
they made
space.
After.
I remember that.
Right. They wanted it to be something you're involved in without the dead space that you mentioned, but it coincided with how maps worked originally because it was just one death and you're dead in maps, right? So that you didn't have to worry about that inconsistency before. But now that they've changed, and they did that quite early on, they re-added portals back based on the difficulty of the map, right? Whether it's 6 attempts or 5 extra attempts or 0 extra attempts. But now that they have that and that instant stays, now there's that inconsistency. But originally with the original design, there was no inconsistency because there was no reason to care about if it respawned or not in maps because there wasn't any. But so hopefully they change that, because that would add a huge value to your leveling experience, which is one of your biggest criticisms to the sequel. But also now, to coincide with that, they have Act 4 and interludes, right? So they kind of address what we were talking about the last couple of weeks about what are you going to do if you come out with Act 4? Please don't make us do 4 acts, or how are you going to do it? And so they came out with that really cool balance. Again, as we've praised many times, they have this creativity that's there. And this time, awesome. They're showing that they're not scared to show us something cool that's temporary. And in the past, the company has a reputation of being scared to show temporary because then they'll have to meet the demand and the outcry of why not just keep it permanent. And I love it when a company can just be like, no, sorry. And sure, of course, you and I have things where it's like, they're doing things on things that we wish that they would keep or do, right? But at the same time, interludes, a temporary thing that apparently you could just do one of them. You don't. It's not like 3 shorter acts. You can just do one type of because you know how they have 3 interludes.
Yeah, I thought you have to do all 3.
You can do one. Part of the Q&A, from what I understood, was you could just do one a couple times, or you could do half of each, or whatever it is. Like it's its own thing. You just do what you want with them. It's like their own little. They're not like acts, you know what I mean? I
do really
they're
like that events. If that's true. Yeah. I thought you had to go through each one of them.
No, you just pick the style that you like and you go for it. And then now we've also seen like these little extra details where it's like they've just set this thing where, okay, level 65, that's when endgame is. Like, you know, that's a really cool way. Like, just you've heard the company now say this is where it is, right? I mean, obviously, you can go into the campaign in Path of Exile 1 and you can see what the area level is and the monster level is for the last act, right? And what the first area level is. But you have to go through it, right? And here you can You just have that information a little bit more available prior to the campaign even being finished.
I am. That's actually really cool if they did make the interludes where it's just something to do until you're 65 in an end game. I didn't realize that, and it actually made me a bit nervous because the way that they portrayed it too, they're like 71 new bosses, 16 new areas, and I was like, oh god, that sounds like a lot.
Times 10.
Yeah, exactly. It sounded cool that they had all this stuff, but I was like, do I have to go through all of that stuff?
Introducing uber cruel.
It did. I love the idea of it. I think it's going to be fun to play it. I think Sprint will hopefully. The one good thing is because you don't have to do it twice, the axe twice per character, it will probably, at least for me, make doing one alt better. Maybe the sprint will be good enough for me to be able to justify doing more, because if you have a strong enough character with like twink stuff as you're leveling, then hopefully you can just sprint through the area because you know where you're going and just doing random spells or attacks when you know you're coming up to a group of mobs or something. So that'll be fun. I'm curious.
Yeah. One thing I hope they don't do is have any modifiers to sprint. Like it's available for all classes. It's all equal to class. Like I don't want anything like if you're this ascendancy, you can get this or this bonus with sprint, or something on the tree that lets you be tougher while you're sprinting. Like I like it. It's a speed boost for those that speed boost, make it super vulnerable. Everybody's got the same. I want that value to movement speed to maintain its high value.
When we went to PAX West and talked with Jonathan, this Act 4 is what he was talking to us about.
Yeah,
and so that was really cool. Like the idea behind Act 4 looks fun. Picking which island you want to go to and the type of mobs you want to fight. And I remember him telling us about this when we were at PAX West, or this was one of his directions for one of the acts to hopefully make things feel different because you can experience the act differently. So that'll be fun.
It was, yeah. Very interesting to hear about. And he was very excited about this. He really opened up on this one. And the thing at the time, don't know if it's going to change, but he was referencing that out of the important things that you need, like whether it was like a quest item or where you would need to go to start your ascension, it would change every playthrough. Or he said maybe every league. Like there was the idea that every league they'd be kind of changing the campaign so you wouldn't always be going through and doing the same thing. Yep. So far, that hasn't been the case with the first 3 acts, right? They have those logos on the map that shows you what you get and what you kill. You know what I mean? So maybe that idea has disappeared. But it's still a possibility to have now, because now they've finally come out with that island act. So maybe it doesn't happen in every act, but maybe it does on this one where it's a little bit random.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they change like where you're getting passive points from, or where you're doing certain quests, like change which island it's on.
Yeah. Be fun. And maybe even if it's just something like, it doesn't always have to be the same boss. Sure, like some bosses, the reward matches the theme of the boss, so that'd be a little bit more tricky to remove. Like you beat a cold boss and you get 10 res or something, like, that kind of stuff might be tough. But even if you just enter the area, you unlock the waypoint, and then now when you see the mini map, you're like, oh, that boss doesn't have this bonus this time. Oh, okay, so now I got to go to another waypoint and see, oh, that boss has something for my character this time. Okay, cool. Like even if you don't have to interact with the boss, but you just interact with the area so that then the map itself shows it, that'd be a really cool idea that has nothing to do with the patch notes.
I didn't read any of the actual patch notes.
Okay.
So I don't really, I like that there was something about a unique, was it a unique socketable? But like it was farming bosses, like it would drop from certain bosses. And I actually like that. I was like, okay, that's cool. That's a Diablo type thing for me as well. Like I like the idea that I can farm something in particular if I'm trying to get something and it's just chance of the drop versus it being a global drop that you just are hoping you'll one day get. I don't know what they actually are, so I have no idea if they're valuable enough for me or whatever I'd be playing, but I just like that that's an option, that's something they're bringing into the game.
Yeah. Do you have a list you want to go through?
My list is just what I wrote to you while I was like drug infused on WhatsApp. I was sending Tyler messages, and I'm like, this is my Trello because I don't have it open, and I'm just going to write you messages.
It was a little tough to understand.
You didn't need to understand it. I just needed to understand it.
I know, but the reason you didn't get responses was because my translator in my brain wasn't working.
Sure. I also didn't give you a heads up that I was going to do it.
But there also wasn't like the context of it. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're both watching live and then I get this like intoxicated jumble of words and I'm like, oh, but yeah, we just saw this. Okay, I can make that out. Like there was no context for me to translate. So that's why I didn't respond. I wasn't being apathetic. It
was fine. I wasn't looking for a response.
Didn't know. So, okay. So Trello away. And then,
I finished Jonathan's part and I said that I like the direction. It's fun. I'm excited to see the direction they're going with it. That was all the intro stuff to it. I know I'm just being a turd, but like, they just need to work on the EQ a little bit with the mics. I don't know what was going on, but it sounded like they were eating them. It was a very odd. There was, I was chatting about it with somebody on Discord because I'm like, what? I can't tell. Like, first off, there's no DS happening at all, and it's hurting my ear. I'm just being anal. I like sound. Sound's important to me. And
I don't know. You're making a video that's going out to hopefully millions of people.
There were a couple things. Anyway, I really like the direction that they were going.
Good.
And there was a comment that they made in it, and I wrote to you, I love you'll just have to find out yourself stuff. Like I like that they're not giving us everything. And that's probably partly why I haven't read the patch notes. Also just time and energy. I just don't have it to get into that. But I like the find it out yourself stuff. I love that they're not giving it all away. I can't remember what it was regarding.
I wish they do more of it. I feel like they kind of almost fail in that regard. And it's not as a criticism because it's just because they're excited. Like you get into the Q&A and they're like, well, we should save this but you know what I mean?
That's probably another good reason not to watch the Q&A.
Things back, but they personally are so excited for it, which is something we all love about the company. They enjoy what they do. So, but I love that as well. I really like the, here's a new patch. I mean, we get how marketing works, so you have to market something for the sake of an influx of numbers. But the more you can hold back, the more exciting it is for me. And especially because with our community that we have with Forever Exiled, they're very good with spoilers. They're very respectful in our Discord, so they'll either spoiler it out in their black, like highlighter, or like we'll have a channel for it. Like it's all really good. So it's nice where you and I can play and we're not really getting any spoilers with it. We can discover it on our own, even though there's people that would really like to share it with us. So it is a lot of fun. Stuff. And again, community, thank you for being so respectful.
They had obviously very excited about their whole new direction with supports. So I want to talk to you about that. Yeah. Obviously, I knew you'd be pretty excited, but I paused at one point during the video and I was like, bifurcates? That's not a word.
Did you look it up?
I did look it up. It's like,
and
it's to fork. And I was like, all right, guys. But the thing that made me nervous was it was underlined, like in the game where you can go onto items and
oh, no way. Bifurcates is underlined.
It was underlined. And I was like,
that's so awesome.
But is that becoming a tag? Like also
that would be so awesome. That has the most like intellectual tags on the planet. Like, you're looking for armor. You're like, no. That's too simple.
We went on the thesaurus and we found a lot of options for armor. Yeah, I was like, why doesn't this just say fork? Bifurcates. Right. It totally caught me off, man. I was like,
watch, all of a sudden we get like the intellectual update where that one person that already knows the English language better than anybody else on the planet that GGG has employed, they go on the thesaurus and they're like, what is the most ridiculously complicated word for armor?
I feel like they do that
evasion.
sometimes. With some skills we've had it with before where we're like, but this one just caught me off. I was like,
I hope it's still underlined when it comes out. That's next Friday, man.
Yeah, I had to pause it because I was like, nope, that is not a word. They're just making shit up.
And the funny thing, I didn't notice that word.
No.
So you start messaging that and I don't know if it's...
What are you talking about?
I'm like... Is that half drinking? Intoxicated? Is there a spelling mistake in this? But it didn't seem like it. So I was excited to hear what you had to say about it. That was actually the only note I made. I have the notes up, but that was like the only one I wanted to bring up to you specifically.
Oh, really? Yeah. It made me laugh because I had to Google it. I was like, guys, come on. I mean, at least it's underlined, so I'll be able to find out in game what it means. But yeah,
watch. It has the definition. and how to pronounce it with the syllable. Like it's almost like,
and it's like the BI dash.
Yeah, that's right. It shows the dictionary definition, the Webster version.
Yeah. The support stuff's cool. Like the fact that they've gone back on the whole idea of only one type of support being allowed to be used. That's a bit like, we're both super happy about it, but I think like you have to give them a lot of props for that, because that's a big one for them to go back on. Like that's not a small choice, and you can't go backwards, I don't think, now.
Well, that's one thing where I hope that they do. Kind of like how they're doing interludes. They're just like, this is temporary. Don't care if you like it or not. Like it's
sure.
We're going to figure it out. So hopefully they do have the guts to go back, because I think, like you said, this takes a lot of guts to do. They've changed supports a lot now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember the biggest cheer for the first Exile Con was having a meta gem that turned on all your auras.
Mm-hmm.
Things have changed a lot again. By the time we get to LA, which is like 6 years later, you and I are there, and they're talking about having only one support gem per build, but none of them impact damage. They just have a large variety of them, or that's the way it was before LA. But then we get to LA, and then they have this new restriction, but then because of this new restriction, now they're going to add like damage to them. They're just, it's not like a flip-flop. You got to figure it out. And you need the game to figure it out. You can only do so much around your office table, right? And so now that the game's been out and they're playing, it is really cool to see them make this change. And I mean, supports, like it says gem system overhaul, and sometimes when you see GGG with overhaul, it's like, oh, okay, like that's like a tweak. But this is like a legit overhaul. You have levels to support gems. You have new rules being made and added.
Levels to support gems made me laugh. I was like, okay, so now we're just leveling supports again? Like,
well, see, I'm the kind of person where I just want to level stuff. The more I can level, the better. In the first Borderlands game, you're leveling your weapon. The more you use it, the better it gets. I mean, how cool is that? We've had that in Path of Exile 1, where our level or our weapons had passive trees for a little bit. Remember that? What was that? No, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, like our weapons had passive trees as well. And it was the more you used it, the more you would level it up. I love that stuff. And so it's not for any good reason, with the exception that I just like to level stuff. It was disappointing when the original support gem system changed from being able to earn XP on all your supports to not. And I totally agree with every reason that they did it. It just sucks to have something less to level. This is still not leveling, but it is. Yeah. It's like a difference. It's like you're earning the upgrading, right? And I like it. The weird thing for me, and we'll have to see what this is like in game, but to have the upgraded version do something different instead of just be better. There's going to be reasons. Well, make it a different support gem, maybe. Like I said, I'm not saying that's how it should be, but I'm curious how different it's going to be, because if they are going to be different, just make it a different support gem. I don't know, it'll be weird. Like, I'm curious to see how many builds are like, okay, no, for this support, you stop at level 2. For this support, you stop at level 1. For this support, you stop, you just max it out, go to level 4 or 5 or whatever it is, right? It'd be interesting to see how that works and how different the perks are, or how many builds will be like, I don't actually like those better versions. I'm sticking with the lower versions.
I would imagine most choose the higher ones, but to me, it feels like more of just to help you level, to help you get through your build. Feeling stronger is to get these upgraded versions as you're increasing your level. I would imagine at higher levels, you're probably going with the highest tier of each of those kinds, unless there's something different. But it is cool that they're there and they're giving you a bit more variety now for how you. I hope that it gives enough variety where you don't feel like you just need to slap the same supports on multiple skills.
Oh, and here's the thing. Let me. Sorry, I got the black lung. Let me refill my coffee and then we'll do that. So it seems interesting. Like it's originally they said we're only going to allow you one support gem per build, right? And then, hi, welcome back, by the way. You good to go?
Yeah, do it.
All right. So they have that. And so then the idea is, okay, we need to come out with a lot of support gems to make this work. We're giving people way more supports than they're ever used to if you're a Path of Exile 1 player. And we want you to combo and combo and combo and combo. And so obviously there were some things, like we touched on this a little bit before. If I wanted my spear throw to poison, well, then my spear jab couldn't, right? Or I would have to find a different way to make that work. So there were obviously some cases where that just didn't work, the idea of one support per build, but the concept, the mentality of we just need to make way more supports to make this feasible. It's interesting because they removed the restriction, which means, okay, now technically you don't need as many creative supports because now you are going to be mixing and matching a certain amount of some of these, right? Maybe it's like increased area of effect, or maybe it's like the poison chance or whatever it is, right? Some of them are you're just going to have some gems that are copied. But they also came out with that insane variety that they're talking about. They came out with the multiple levels, right? So now it's, I don't know, let's go back to poison chance, and who knows what the values are. So don't quote me on anything, but maybe it's like, level 1 is 25% chance. Level 2 is 50% chance. Level 3 is 75% chance. And then you come out with like the level 4 and level 5 versions, which have more than just chance to poison, right? All of a sudden you have like not just the tiered values, but now the variety of, now you can have chance to poison with something else. But then they also add the lineage supports.
Are those the ones I was talking about where you have to farm them?
Yeah, they're the most powerful supports in the game. And I think those ones you're limited to only having one per build. Hopefully that's mentioned somewhere. Mm-hmm. But yeah, really, really cool. And then they came out with 11 new ones just in general. So that was really, really cool. But then they also did like a lot of other gameplay things in the game with like mana and leeching, and like even minions don't require accuracy anymore. That's crazy. Like in general, it doesn't sound like a big deal.
Has been a big change.
Big change.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, makes sense. If I have never swung a baseball bat in my life, if all I've done is have my hands in my pants and I come out of my rock at 50 years old and I go to hit you over the head with a baseball bat, I'm probably going to hit you. You know what I mean? Like, unless you dodge and move, I'm going to hit you. If you stand still, I'm not going to miss, even if I've never done it before in my life. So I love that that's how accuracy works now. You basically don't need it if they're close. So if you have
it does make me kind of wonder though, like how they're balancing that with something like resolute technique. You know, like, are you actually making it to the point in this patch they did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So I might not have seen that or heard that.
No, that's cool. I mean, they have lots to think about. So whether they think about it now or not,
that was one thing I had a thought of while I was watching the gameplay of the character when they were talking about accuracy. I was like, wonder how that affects resolute technique. Like, does it not make it needed?
Resolute technique now grants accuracy is doubled instead of your hits can't be evaded.
Oh,
what I didn't check for is if it's changed. I'm still thinking of it in the Path of Exile 1 location where it's around a bunch of melee.
It was on the left
maybe
side.
now, because I mean that's really more just for ranged characters, right? Not necessarily not melee.
Resolute technique was on every melee character I ever played almost,
right?
Unless I was focused on crit.
Now the only melee it's going to be on are some of those like really distant melee ones where it travels on the ground and it hits somebody far away, or maybe like an old school thing like Sunder.
What did you say resolute technique now is?
It doubles accuracy, your accuracy rating, instead of hits can't be evaded. So basically here's your accuracy.
But it was also hits can't be evaded and you can't crit.
Resolute technique passive now grants accuracy is doubled instead of your hits cannot be evaded.
I don't think you could crit with resolute technique though before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you could still crit
in Path 1. I don't know about Path 2.
Interesting. Well, I mean, it seems cool. I love that it becomes less of a thing you have to be worried about. There were a couple different things that they talked about, and I can't remember them specifically, but I was like, they're adding a lot more modifiers that can roll on items. Like, they're trying to get a good item now is going to be hopefully a fun hunt, but it also looks like it could be tough.
Yeah. Well, that brings up the currency that they changed and added. Did you see that?
I saw some of it, but by that point I was trying to keep up. So that was Mark's talk? Was that in Mark's talk?
Well, they added, I forget. They added, so there's not just transmutes anymore. There's like greater transmutes, super duper transmutes, and perfect transmutes. And that's their way of basically the better the transmute, the better and they have this for multiple currency types, but I'll stick with transmutes for now. That's their way of limiting the low bar for what can roll. So perfect transmute. Let's say that's the best one. I forget what the orders are and what the names are, but let's say that the best transmute, the perfect transmute, now can only roll like the top 4 modifiers of every mod.
That's cool.
Right. So that's their limitation. And so it's interesting because maybe you could do that to transmutes in general. Maybe you don't need to add 4 new transmutes to the game. Maybe a transmute
on the eye level of the item instead of that.
Maybe. But then all of a sudden, if you have transmutes common, does that mean you have to change the drop rate of a regular transmute as you get into these 80 plus area levels? Do you now make them rare
anymore?
Well,
you want the better ones.
But if they're only rolling like the top 4, yeah, you do. But now your drop rate was huge before. So now you have a stack of 1,000. Do you want the player to have a stack of 1,000? You know what I mean? Like, it sucks to add more for the player to deal with and to filter. But at the same time, you need to balance how many they have overall. And so if you keep the same transmute, which is kind of what I was always wanting them to do, keep the transmute, but then based on the item level, that's your restriction for how low an item can roll. In a way, because you get so many transmutes at the beginning, even if you change the drop rate later on, you kind of run into this circumstance of the player has too many that can roll too well.
Right.
So
which is why this way is probably better.
Yeah, but it adds more crap though. So I hope they just make it so that like at certain levels, a regular transmute just stops dropping. I really hope they don't leave it to the filter creators to get rid of it. Because like you don't want it.
I think you have to leave that kind of to the filter creator though, because the problem is you do if you run another character. So it should be up to the character.
You have them in your stash, right?
Yeah,
like you can't.
I don't know.
To me, I'm the kind of person where if I was behind the scenes, I'd be like, they can pick up as much as they want. And if they're concerned about their alternate characters, they can be concerned about that as they're leveling.
You could go level up or play a lower level area and farm them or something. Yeah.
Or I mean, it's not like, or just make it so that every playthrough you get what you need. Like have the drop rate for regular transmutes through the campaign, what you would think that they would need, right? What's going on? Why is everybody stomping around?
Who's stomping around?
My son. They still have another half hour of video games. Anyway.
God, go have fun.
Yeah, hold it. Don't go to the bathroom yet. Don't confuse me. No, but so it's just one of those things where it's like, I just hope that they're cutting it, that they're not leaving it to us, because then it just turns into the same thing. Like we're already at that stage with items where there's just a lot of items. I don't know if they changed drop rates for items yet or not, because it doesn't sound like they introduced any new item types, right? No new base types.
Well, they did
swords,
because
daggers.
Well, not base types, but new skills that those things can do. Because I saw the reap two-handed weapon or something, or one-handed weapon with a new skill. So
we'll see how it works. Obviously, that kind of concern is thinking really far in advance, like when all the currency is dropping, when all the div cards are dropping, when all the base types are dropping, with all the rarities, and then everything you're trying to farm. I just hope they're doing their part.
I'll bet you they adjust
some of these decisions
as they go. Similar to like what they did with the socketable stuff, where it just stopped dropping the lower level stuff. You only saw current level stuff. Same with Waystones.
Is that the way that it is?
Mm-hmm.
Like only the higher runes drop at the higher levels? See, well then just ignore the last 5 minutes, because if they're doing that already,
you never know
runes, I highly doubt they wouldn't do that with other currency.
Yeah.
You want it to be rare. You don't if you don't care about a regular exalt and you only care about perfect exalts, you just want the good stuff to drop anyway, right? So that's cool.
Are they doing that with every currency? Like is exalts one of them as well? That will have multiple tiers?
Let me see. Oh, I hope I didn't accidentally. Greater. So they have perfect transmutes, perfect augs, perfect chaos, perfect regals, perfect exalts.
Interesting.
And so it's just the 3 tiers. So there's the regular transmute, greater transmute, and perfect transmute. And so basically,
I'm curious what those drop rates are like, because I don't think they've hit the sweet spot for jeweler's orbs, which they do the 3 tiers of. So I'm curious. It'll be interesting to see how they try to balance those out, because you need them to drop enough where somebody wants to craft with them. If they become so insanely rare, then you're probably just trading them away and buying the item you want. And that sucks.
And they added Hinakora's Lock. That's the one where you can see the future with your crafting. And I was incorrect. They added 50 new base type items.
I thought I saw that there were some new base types coming in, but I think I feel like I phased out a little bit because they kept talking so much about crossbow, like the mercenary crossbow stuff. And it's the only class I haven't played. And so I kind of zoned out a little bit. looked cool, and it sounds like they're cool changes, but I don't know what the gameplay was like for the mercenary. So
the examples lasted a long time in this video, so I checked out a lot through some of these things. So if they had comments like in the middle of those, I didn't catch them.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I'll find them out when they start mattering to my build. Anyway,
which is perfect. That's the best way to find them, though. Get in there and start playing.
I agree. Yeah. So we have Act 4. We have the interludes. Anything else you want to bring up? I got.
No, usually you bring stuff up because I'm already lost.
Rise of the Abyss.
Oh yeah.
The Abyssal League, like the actual league. We know it's going to go core, right? Mm-hmm. Like this stuff. I highly doubt they're coming out with a league that's not going to go core. That sounds like a waste of time when you're trying to work on your beta and come out with your core product. But I love that. I love how cool Abyss looks in Path 2.
Awesome.
Like they actually have like this bricked tunnel or whatever it is that goes down.
Does it travel or is it just one?
Gosh, I hope it stays still.
When I watched it, I was like, oh, that's cool. It looks like you're just fighting that one spot. But I could have sworn I heard something about when it ends or something. And I was like, oh, please don't make it travel. Yeah. I hope it doesn't travel.
No, me too. Now, you know what I actually thought, and I'm super stoked for that. Those are for people that are long-term listeners, like bring the monsters to me. That's what I like. Don't make me go to Delve. Don't make me go to another area for expedition. Like bring the monsters to me. So I always loved stuff like
Betrayal and
yeah, the ones. What's the one where you just like it showed up as a mod? It wasn't really. It was kind of a mechanic, but not like where it was.
What would it do?
Beyond, where you just kill monsters and they had a chance to show up.
Like, that's the one I meant.
Yeah. But including Abyss. Like Abyss was nice because you just start killing. There it is. You run it over. I didn't like how it traveled, right? Because that would take me to places that I've already been. But like I just liked the stuff that came to me. Same thing with like the mini bosses, right? Where it was either metamorph or they have them in the game. They have rogue exiles. Like I like that stuff. So this is really nice. I like these kind of things. The thing that I think is ridiculous so far about it, and I hope they change it, is you know how they just finished consolidating unveiling in Path 1?
I thought the same thing. Like, make me go somewhere and throw something in. Like,
right. Like, you just finished saying, yeah, this is really tedious. We're making it convenient for you in Path of Exile 1. Now in Path 2, they're like, no, not only do you have to talk to somebody
somewhere,
you actually have to go all the way over there.
Hopefully
and then walk
just
up
because
these
they're
stairs
very good.
And
maybe it's because they're just really, really good.
I don't care.
I don't mind it if it is that way.
They're starting to messy the kitchen up. They're taking things out of the drawers. They're just throwing them all over the counter. It's like, this is where they're going to be. I know. So anyway, hopefully this is one of those weird things where it's just going to be elongated for the league. And then when it goes core, we'll simplify it. I don't get that process, but that's what happens in a lot of other things. Like, happen in King's March, all that kind of stuff, right? Maybe that travel is lore related. I don't know. But either way, really cool that they're adding unveiling to it.
Didn't Abyss stuff also now affect the monsters around it? Like it can affect the rogue exiles and it can affect the bosses. Wasn't that the thing they were talking about? Was it related to the Abyss that can affect the rogue exiles? Because they showed it and it like all of a sudden would change.
Yeah, you click it and like it brings out like there's cool stuff that happens to bosses and everything that's around. Like it is cool. So it's like, what's it adding? Like it even impacts essence monsters. What else was it that did this?
Well, it makes me nervous that it adds the essence / rogue exiles from Path of Exile 1 where you're like, what the fuck did I just add to that person? I don't even know what they're doing now.
Yeah. No, hopefully for sure.
It doesn't do that.
There was a mechanic like that in Path 1 where you would choose to not kill stuff around a boss. What was it? Torment?
Well, Torment is the spirits because you want the spirits to go into the boss.
Adding stuff. Like we're getting the Jun unveiling, but with Abyss. But then there's also that aura where there was something in Path 1 where it was like...
Where you don't want to kill monsters?
Or like if you were terrified, like there was, what was it? The caverns where they had those two bosses around this like spiritual little pond thing. And like they would do totems and chaos damage. I hated them. They were always the worst. This is Path 1. The caverns. It was always the worst. They changed that boss fight a bit, but the old version was just terrifying for me. I hated it. And there was a certain mechanic that I'm like, nope, I refuse to do that in this boss fight. I refuse to. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Abyss looks rad.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the way that they're bringing it in.
For sure. Lot of character balance overhauls, new content features, lots of new skills. currency orbs. You touched on endgame. There's a lot of different endgame stuff that they changed, but I haven't really spent a lot of time there.
What I was going to say, they made a note of going through and doing balance pass through. So I'm curious to see how that is for the axe, because they were talking about how characters were buffed. So I'm curious how that affects the actual leveling process. I did look at the end game stuff while they were doing it, but it was towards the end, so I was kind of out of it. I saw they added new maps. Although I don't know why they keep calling them maps if they're waystones. Like, make up your mind. What am I doing?
Waystones open maps.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, there were some new encounters, things that you'll look for. I don't know. I didn't pay enough attention to them.
So I'll give you some of the Cole's notes here. Items that can have a maximum of 2 sockets have a very low chance of getting 3. And items that normally have 1 have a very low chance of rolling with 2 sockets. So they've added like ability. This is for like very high level items.
But it's not corrupting, because you can do that with corrupting right now.
It doesn't say corrupting.
Oh, interesting.
So it adds that extra ability for it to be extra cool. Same thing with quality. Quality items have the possibility of rolling the potential of going above 20%. Downside modifiers have been made weaker to account for the ability to have more present than before. That's specifically talking to waystones. And let's see, they changed how obtaining Atlas passive points works. Slaying a map boss with 6 modifiers at 79 plus, 80 plus, an anomaly map boss at 79 plus, Citadel map boss 79 plus, and a few other ways. So you're getting Atlas passive points a little bit earlier. Before, your criticism was you had to be far into a mechanic to gain stuff. So they're trying to change that.
So I saw that they actually did a really good change for how you access the first 2 points of the extra Atlas's skill, or not skill trees, but passive trees. So I think that's at least a good beginning, because it does mean that if you're doing breach, you have a chance to increase your chances of breach and how those breaches will work. And they got rid of all of the +1 stuff that was on it before, which I like. I didn't look, and I'm probably gonna have to wait until I actually get into the game, but I'm hoping that the Atlas passive tree itself gets or is adjusted or something, because it's just, I don't know, it's not as exciting as Path of Exile 1's Atlas passive tree.
Sure. One thing, actually, I was just gonna get into essences here, but the music really got me. Like,
it's awesome.
The music is always very good, but I've got to think, I don't know what it is, but how Team Camille does their vocals.
Yeah.
Like when they have like the chanting. So when you get like this, I don't know what you call them, the culture of this, what the Abyss is around, and like who, like lore wise, which Chuka, culture it is that's being impacted. I just love. There's just certain cultures that have more of it, it seems. And I just love this. Like, it was just so, like, as we're going through the trailer, there was just so much of like choral music and chanting. And it just like,
I got Moana vibes when it first started.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got Moana vibes.
Yeah,
when he like takes his axe and he puts it down and then they go into the music. I was like,
I got my grandmother's stingray coming to get you. You betcha.
It was so good. The music's always awesome.
But funny enough, with all the Moana stuff, and I mean, this isn't now music related, but there was that one new melee skill or melee support they kept showing that it was like a starfish almost. It was like a star that kept going, but that was like the exact shape of the stone that Moana had to replace, and then like the shape that it did back in the god when she saved the god. Yep. So it was very Moana.
I got a lot of Moana vibes through it.
But the music really got me. I love it when they add the choral stuff. So that was good. Essence rework, though, they now have 4 tiers of essences: normal, lesser, normal, greater, and perfect. And so they're doing that. And then they changed it, more of them. They can upgrade magic items to rare items now. Whereas before, I think it was just to magic items until later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now they can go from magic to rare as well. And they added more of those. I mean, so many changes. Not going to go through them all, but a lot of really good things.
Oh, they did trade. They brought in this asynchronous trade now, where you can do offline trades. I have to be honest, I didn't watch it in depth. I just saw how it works. There was one thing that confused me a little bit where they said it sounded like they said prior to the patch being released, if you have certain tabs, you can upgrade to these types of tabs. So, but once the league comes out, I can't do that?
So what's happening is they now have new tabs, right?
Right, for whatever this thing is.
You have your premium tabs from before, but now you have merchant tabs. So basically now premium tabs aren't for selling anymore.
They're
merchant tabs are.
But are they guaranteed to let me upgrade my premium tabs to merchant tabs? Because they made it sound like there was a timeline, like you had to do it before. The way he said it just confused me a bit.
No, I think with the timeline, how did it work? I forget. It would be stupid if I was given a timeline.
Speaking of stash tabs, when will I be able to convert my existing premium stash tabs into merchants tabs? Once 0.3 releases next Friday, you'll be able to convert your premium stash tabs purchased before the launch into merchants tabs from your account settings on the website. Just to clarify, the option to convert your premium stash tab to a merchants tab will be made available on the Path of Exile 2 website when the 0.3 patch is deployed. Okay. Well,
so basically, I think what it's saying is you can buy a premium tab before the patch, and any of those can be converted over to merchant tabs.
And then going
forward, any premium tab you buy after 3.0 comes out can't. So your old purchases can.
Why would you buy a premium tab after the merchants tabs come out, though? They must not be selling them, right?
Confusion. So, the merchant tabs will be for sale from 3.0 onward.
But I would assume they stop selling the premium stash tab.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, it would be odd to have a tab that's like, hey, the only benefit of this tab now is that you can change the color and title it. Like, just make every tab that from that point forward. So maybe that's how they're going to do it. I don't know. But that is a very interesting way to go about it. And I love that they're doing it. It's like a really good mix of what I loved about the old school console trading in Path 1 and the value of seeing other people's MTX. Right? Like that is a huge marketing thing that GGG does, where you have to spawn in town before you go to your hideout. You have to spawn somewhere where you see other people and then you go to your hideout. When you are trading, you go to someone's hideout, you see their MTX, you see their hideout, you see all that stuff. Like that is a huge internal marketing thing that they get for free. And so, but so much quality of life completely conflicts with that, right? Like in this one now, you can right from the get-go travel straight to your hideout.
It takes me to their hideout though, right? Still?
Right. So what they've done here, but they've added the cool thing where now I can go right from the beginning. I can go straight to my hideout. I can go straight somewhere. Like I can bypass so much of what GGG normally makes me see of other people first for the sake of QOL. So one really cool thing that they've done now is, yes, you can do all the asynchronous stuff. Yes, I am going to buy this, but they still make you go to that person's hideout.
Which I do like because you get to see it. And it gives me vibes of how trade used to be way long ago, which is now I also get to see their store. Like when I go to buy it, I actually can look at the other stuff that they're selling. That's how we used to do it on the forums. Like you used to have your store and it links to your items and how much you were trading them for. And I think that's awesome. I think that's very fun.
I do think it's really cool because yeah, sure, you want your item, but now I can check out the store. But it's kind of like you still like you're having to go to the store. You're doing some window shopping. Which is great
because the person at the store isn't going to just be like not there and not sell it, which is what we have to deal with right now. So I think that's awesome.
I really think it's a good middle ground. Obviously, going that extra step and needing to go to the person's thing, people are going to be humming and hawing about it. And sure, maybe I will too sometimes. But at the end of the day, GGG needs a method for you to be like, hey, look at other people's stuff that's cool. This is like internal marketing. Like,
yeah, it's how they sell their stuff.
They need to find a way because otherwise people are locked. Like we've had a guild hideout in both games for forever. You never see anybody in there because people have their own hideouts, right? Not a criticism to people, but that's how it works. Like we have these community ways to hang out and we're all like, no, I'm hanging out by myself. I like my hideout. I've spent my money on my hideout. I've spent my money on my decorations. I've spent 3 hours fixing this up. I'm giving it its due, right? We're never going to see anybody. So they need to force people to see each other's stuff just to remind people, hey,
For me, it's just fun, man.
Yeah.
Path of Exile 1,
for me too.
Path of Exile 1, when I get to go to some people's hideouts, we have a lot of them in guild that have that one that is that Cosmic Atlas passive one. Remember that one? It was like the top tier.
Yes.
Oh, every time I go in there, it zooms out. That's what drives me crazy. I'm like, you get an extra zoom out? That's not fair. That whole hideout
the way we all want the whole
out.
game to be the whole time. But it's one of those things where they need that somehow. So to incorporate it into something that you can't really skip, like trade is such a big part of the game. Mm-hmm. So whoever's idea was to be like, actually, they need to, they'll have to travel to the other person's hideout to get this.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's a brilliant idea because now it's not like, okay, I'm spawning, I'm loading the game, here I'm in town, boop, 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 I'm out. And you don't even get to see anybody's stuff. This is a great way to... And how cool is it? Like, you're going to come back from a map and all of a sudden there's like 1 or 2 people chilling out in your space. You're like, hey.
You didn't even have to talk to them. It's the best.
yeah, right? Yeah. So, anyway, I like it. I think it was really cool. They did a very good job with that. I mean, probably need some tweaks, whatever it's going to be. Every cool trade requires gold now, right? Not just the price. So
I think that's good too. I mean, you end up having so much gold in the end anyway, so they need some sinks for it.
So they changed elemental stuff big time.
Oh,
like things like cold snap are not just for cold.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
And they added infusions, things that you pick up on the ground. I don't know what game they're playing.
Yeah, I saw that too. But that's your choice if you choose to do that.
It's a big mechanic now, man. Infusion
it's still
stuff.
Your choice. No, the picking up of stuff though.
No, I'm in the middle of killing like lots. I'm busy. Like
you'll run over it by accident.
Screen clutter, screen clarity. That's still.
We got to take a pause for a minute. Sorry, man.
Yeah. Do you think?
All right. What were we talking about?
That was the question I was going to ask you.
Path of Exile 2.
I've heard of it.
It's
pretty stoked.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of big updates though. Like there's so many things we're not going to be able to touch, but a lot of really cool things. The player changes were
to the
just everything, man. Like the attributes are less on both items and skills by up to 25%.
Mm-hmm.
They changed curses a ton. You know how like enfeeble and temporal chains would have reductions based on the rarity of the enemy. Like they would be less efficient against magic or rare, even more against unique. Well, they added that to every single curse. So now they've changed the values of curses to accommodate that, but every single curse now is less efficient. And so to give you like, and I like the math that they did, it's 50% less efficient against uniques. So take the value you have and cut it in half for all the bosses you're going to come across. And I like it when it's a lot easier. Like I love it when numbers, like the accuracy, armor, like all that stuff's crap to me. Like, sure, yeah, it works, but I like being able to do it in my head. Like I like how resists work because I can do that in my head. Right. And so I like it when these types of things work there. It's like, okay, sweet. This is going to be 49% efficient most of the time. So basically 50. So that's going to be 25 to 24% against the boss. Awesome. I can do that in my head. But that actually does, in terms of damage or slowing or less damage take, whatever it is, like, sure, you obviously can't really tell that. You can only tell that from a mathematical standpoint, but I like that. Fire damage no longer inherently has a chance to ignite. Instead, it inflicts flammability on the enemy. Flammability lasts for 4 seconds, and the more hits you do, the more intense flammability gets. So a lot of like big overhauls to a lot of different kinds of mechanics. That's not exclusive to that. Like that's like shock and chill. Like these things last a lot longer now. I think up to 8 seconds.
8 seconds, I saw that.
Block is totally different. Now the max block chance, the passive block chance is 50 instead of 75. But they've changed how block works as well, and the efficiency of it and where you're aiming. And they've even changed how it looks and feels with enemies as well. Yeah, so it's just like there's just so much. Like when you go back in to the game, you're going to want to double check things. Like pretend it's your first playthrough, because a lot of the things where you're used to it working a certain way, it might be completely different now. Like this one made me laugh here. Players now gain +6 to accuracy rating per level, previously 3, and each point of dexterity now grants +6 to accuracy rating instead of 5. Okay, so still don't know what accuracy does. like that's good. Like it's basically doubling what I would get per level naturally. So I need less of it, but I still love that it's like something that I need a screen for. If I get 100 accuracy at what level, like what does that mean? Well, I don't know if that's a lot. I have to apply it to my character and then check my screen for accuracy. So don't know if that'll ever change, but
swapping weapons is now instant. That's cool.
Yep, it is. They didn't add this. It's not in the patch notes where I can lock a weapon to a weapon swap.
Skill. Right.
They didn't add that yet, as far as I saw. Though it's less of a demand for my personal desires now, because now I can have
multiple supports.
I can have minion instability anywhere I want in the build. I don't have to lock it. So that's fine. So maybe now with this change,
maybe it's less necessary.
This is it, dog. You're not coming back in. Get out. Yeah, maybe I won't even care about it anymore after I'm finished making all my builds and getting used to the idea that I can have the same support multiple times throughout the build. Maybe that's great. So we'll see how it goes. But I mean, there's just so much. Like, we're not going to touch on it all. It's just, there's just so many cool different things. The ascendancies changed a substantial amount. I was looking through all of them, and there's so many changes. It's crazy. Like, even like the Blood Mage changed a lot.
I saw that.
The Infernalist, Demon Mode, the Lich changed a ton. The one that your curses, they took this from the Blood Mage, but curses no longer, there's not that node where it says your curses can affect hex-proof enemies. They took the Blood Mage's curse node and put it here, and it says your curses now have infinite duration. So that, I mean, just from my build's perspective, completely changes everything. But I didn't see any changes. We'll have to see how it works, but I didn't see any changes to the 3 witch ascendancies that make it like, why do I have to marry myself to these 3 ascendancies? Right? Maybe the starting clusters for the witch, the minion values. Yeah. Like before, with the witch specific clusters, I felt like I was kind of required to be a witch because of how much value there were for minions in those first 2 clusters. So again, those values could have changed. So maybe I'm not going to feel married once I see the updated tree. Maybe those values are less there and greater elsewhere. So maybe I won't feel married. If I still feel like I have to be one of these 3, the 3 witch ascendancies don't really stand out to me as things that are exciting for a minion player. So hopefully that's not the case anymore. But if I was to stick with the Lich, I'm curious because hexproof, well, for one, like, it's curses, it's not hex, right? I don't know if hexes includes marks or not. I don't think so. But either way, your curses can affect hexproof enemies is no longer there. So I really hope that hexproof enemies just don't exist.
I don't think so.
So,
maybe.
Either way. But that was just something I noticed, and I was just thinking about that in general, not specific to Lich. But when you have something like that in the game, it tells you that there are hexproof enemies somewhere. So when you remove that, are they still in the game? Or like, are you making curse people look for a specific unique? I hope not. So stuff like that. But there were tons and tons of changes. Like, every single ascendancy got some pretty big revamps. They added, 150 new clusters to the tree, not nodes, but clusters. They changed some keystones. They said that they changed values for a lot of the existing clusters that exist already. Crazy.
I was just looking through just one of the monster changes specifically with regards to Trials of Sekima for the last boss. Failing to collect all the hourglasses during that boss fight no longer fails your Trial of the Sekima now. Instead, it only damages your honor, which is perfect because that was such a dumb mechanic. If you fail to collect all the hourglasses, he now enters a secondary phase where the hourglasses and slow debuff persist, but at a much slower rate. Cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in here.
Oh, there is. But it's all like big changes too. Like the cost of specters, mark skills are no longer spells. Like that those are actually big changes that you don't notice until later. Like, how many months did I waste thinking zombies were spells in this game? My whole build was revolving around how can I auto cast zombies, and then all of a sudden it's like, I can't because they're not even spells, right? But so now, mark skills are no longer spells, and all of a sudden, like, maybe somebody doesn't even realize that for another 4 months, right? Just one little sentence. But there's just so many changes.
Did you see the microtransaction changes? If you scroll down in the thing to microtransaction changes, they've enabled a lot of existing stuff. I'm hopeful that I'll see less red when I go into Path of Exile 2.
It seems like, and they list them as sets too. So it's not just Like there's going to be a lot of things that maybe you only bought one or two of, but they could be included. So yeah, it seems like there's a lot of stuff that they're added. I'm very excited for that as well. What was it? There was one thing I wanted to point out. Oh, so, two things that I was hoping I was going to see specifically, and they still might be picked. They still might be influenced by these changes, but not literally or directly like in the patch notes. Minion survivability for me wasn't touched on. But they made a lot of changes regarding minion stability. They changed a lot of the offense for minion skills, specifically command skills. My big criticism to that is my minions need to be alive for command skills to have value. But they didn't specifically change, like in the patch notes, there's nothing about minion health or survivability or resist or anything like that. But then they did other changes. Like there's that one, what's that one skill where you cast it and it has like these spikes that come out, but when it goes over a corpse, it creates like these little scorpions. You remember that?
It's one of the first ones you get. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I forget what it's called, but that skill now also uses
the unearth.
It could be.
I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. Sorry, what does it do?
It might be faster for everybody if I just read it. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you for
Is it unearth?
That. Yep. Good job.
Nice.
Unearth can now be used on dead skeleton reviving minions once per death to create a bone construct. So that's the little scorpion thing. Bones constructs created by Unearth have a dash attack they can now use to close the distance to an enemy, and then quality. And the description's been updated. So now I can use Unearth in a boss fight, right? And it's kind of like saying, okay, we're fine with your skeletons dying because we're giving you another skill you can use that kind of uses your skeleton's death. Still, we'll have to see how that works. But like if I can only have 3 or 4 skeletons at the beginning of the game, my cooldown's still like 12 seconds. Like that's 4 skeletons every 12 seconds. And my bone constructs, they die with 1 smash from that, like, big worm underground in Act 1. Like they're dead in a hit. So hopefully there's been some balanced stuff that hasn't been mentioned in terms of survivability. I'm still very excited to use minions. And I'm very curious to see how they level. The first 2 acts were definitely the worst for them. The first one being the worst, second, not as much. But they changed. There was a note saying that they changed like all bosses in Act 3
have 15% or something.
Something like that. Yeah. So
it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
There's so many changes that it's tough to be like, for me, there was something specific that I just mentioned, minion survivability, that wasn't technically touched on. But there's been so many changes that maybe it has been, but just in a roundabout way. So my point is I have something that I could be, quote unquote, oh no, they didn't fix this. But to the community, try and be open-minded about it, because there's so many changes that what your criticisms might have been might indirectly be changed. And maybe it's on purpose. It's just not something that they can put literally into a patch notes, right? Like, hey, by the way, with this change, and this change, you should now see this, and this. Like, that's not how patch notes work, right? So try and go in there open-minded, try and enjoy it. But so many cool quality of life changes too. Yeah.
Comes out on Friday. Do you know what you're going to play?
No.
Well,
I don't, because actually, like, for me specifically, I like minions and I like curses. But for curses, there's only one branch in the Lich that I actually like. And now it makes my curses infinite. And I'm like, well, how can I do that? Like, I don't want to auto trigger my curses if they're infinite now. There's no point to that. So I gotta, like, it just kind of changed my whole idea of what I've been planning around the entire time. So I don't know. I'm probably going to do minions and curses again. That's going to be my attempt. That's going to be my try. I'm curious to see how much mana I'm going to need, right? Because the Lich has, if I want to go the minion, what was it, Unholy Might route, it reduces my mana recovery. So I'm like, do I really want that? And then do I care about that if my curses are infinite? But then if my curses are infinite, then I'm getting rid of the 2 damage nodes from curses, right? Like there's the one where there's the 8-second trickle, Decaying Hex, and then there's the other one for Impending Doom, but Impending Doom's not going to go off if my curses never expire. So do I want to do that? Do I not want to do that? So I have a lot to think about, but it's still going to revolve around the concept of minions and curses. So I'm definitely trying minions. I want to see how the leveling experience works with it now. Hopefully I don't need Unearth. And if I do need Unearth, I hope it doesn't stay, but hopefully if I even need Unearth, it is good enough to use. So we'll see. I mean, there's been so many changes. It's I can't, man. I can't. How about you? What are you going to play?
I don't know. I wanted to play Smith of Katava in last league, but I just was not going to do the league again or like the leveling again. So I have not looked though to see if there's any changes, but I do like all the accuracy changes for melee. So it might make leveling a little bit nicer. I always like big weapon stuff. So that's probably where I'm leaning towards, but I got to see whatever changes they made if there were any changes made to Smith Katava.
There were. But Justin, I sent you a message.
Where?
If these patch notes only had one change, and that one change was this change, these patch notes would win. So basically, this patch is a win no matter what. I don't expect you to remember.
Oh, yes, I do. I didn't remember seeing that. Wasn't in the thing. That must be in the patch notes somewhere.
It is in the patch notes, yes. It says, for people, reduced the number of river hags that spawn in the drowned city.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is not the first time we have seen this in a patch notes, but I hope this percentage of reduction is much greater than the previous reduction.
Well, also maybe just fix the stupid sphere. Like, it's not even a damage type that's known to anyone. It doesn't make any sense. I can deal with I can't deal with the orb. I can deal with the little circle. That's cold. I get it. Get out of it. But the stupid orb sphere thing that they put down, that's not a real thing. It's not a fair damage of any type. So, sweet.
Also, I want to shout out tiny bit of the humor. There's a tiny bit of it throughout, but I enjoy it when they throw it in. They updated the description for Raging Spirits to clarify that the Flaming Skulls do not follow player commands, in brackets, because they're busy raging.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. So huge. And I really can't wait to play. If there's any takeaway from this, though, it's that GGG just really, and this is going to sound stupid, but, you know, sometimes people get kind of carried away with their passions for where they want the game to go. But GGG is willing to change and fix anything to make this a game that we like, but also a game that they really like. And they have made some changes that we never thought they would make, or they're very bold in making them. This has so many gameplay changes. So many, even just mechanic and UI changes, just like everything from the support. I mean, just the support system on its own, let alone everything else that they're adding to the game. Like, and they're thinking long-term too with how these new currency items are going to work. So I am much more excited than I ever thought that I would be for this 0.3 patch. This is really good.
Yep, I'm excited for it as well. We got to wrap this up or I'm going to fall over. See everybody Friday on 308. Forever Exiled. Justin AK Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Patrons will catch you in After Dark. Everybody else will see you next week after the league launches in 308. If you're looking for more information, we got a website, foreverexiled.com. Discord's very fun. Pop in there and say hello. And Patreon and other ways to support the podcast, you'll find them down below and on the website. Bye.
Poor Justin.